really a great opportunity for me and our team members to come and learn a new workflow and new techniques. I was a little bit familiar with the MIO process, but the software design work was something totally new to me. I'm more of a traditional crown and bridge analog guy, so the digital process was really eye-opening, and it helps me appreciate what our team members back at the lab struggle with. When we come in and say, why can't you get it to look the way we want it to look, but now I have a better understanding. The digital process has its own set of problems, just like analog does, but I think there's a really a good future for us incorporating this into our workflows. We do a lot of digital design work currently. We mainly through a 3Shape lab, so we use their software. We do dabble in the ExoCAD. The ExoCAD definitely seems to be more user-friendly when working on the big cases like we worked on these past few days, the full arch cases, with incorporating all the different scans, the surgical scans, the OptiSplint scans. So I think seeing firsthand how to do that and really, especially being able to see the surgeries, I think that was just an added bonus. And that's going to help tremendously. For myself, that was totally something foreign and strange that I never did, but I think it's opened my eyes again to new techniques and new capabilities. So I think, I think our team at home in the CAD department will be the primary ones that will focus on doing that. But at least I will now be able to supervise a little bit better, knowing what's going on and how to manipulate things. So I think it's going to help tremendously. We plan on kind of incorporating this technique and kind of training our doctors, guys that we're currently working with, different surgeons and restorative docs, on a much easier workflow. So we feel like this is going to streamline things quite a bit, and hopefully we can communicate with them the benefits of using this workflow, and incorporate it into their practices. And encourage them to maybe come and take part in the master's course here. I was familiar with MIO prior to coming here today, but seeing you can always learn from somebody. So seeing other technicians handle it and make suggestions as to how they do things and how they get a good result is always helpful. So I was always a big believer in grabbing little pieces of information from anybody I've seen speak in the past, and kind of coming up with my own system. And so it's always great to see other techs working with the material especially that you're currently using. So the pre-staining kind of gives you a head start as to what your final restoration is going to look like, especially if you're using a bleach or a very bright zirconia. Zirconia by its nature is very high in value, and we know it kind of, when it goes to the mouth, it really is bright. So using the pre-stains to, like I said, to give you a head start with the final shading, is just a benefit. So to be honest, we don't ever do as much contouring as what was done here today or these past few days. So that kind of opened my eyes a little bit, because I didn't think it was really necessary to do that, and we did some, but not nearly as much as the guys showed us this week. So I think it definitely reflects in the final product. You can, and as we know, we don't want to be grinding on post-sintered zirconia with the fear of introducing micro cracks. So I think the more work you can do in the pre-sintered stage, the better your final product's going to be. I guess mainly was the use of the disc interproximally to kind of expose more of the tooth structure. there to give the restoration more depth. It's funny, I used a pencil all the time on conventional crown and bridge work on build-ups, but I never used a pencil to highlight line angles on zirconia. I just felt like I was afraid to incorporate any foreign materials into that, but found out this week that you can do that and work it to your advantage. So you can see your shapes and your line angles on your teeth as you're contouring. The team as a whole was just fabulous as far as their friendliness, number one, their willingness to offer information and not hold back on anything. I mean, sometimes you'll get some advice from somebody on how to do a certain technique, but they'll always hold something back a little bit, kind of keep it their secret recipe. I didn't see any of that this week. I mean, everybody was free and open with what they knew and what they had to offer, and in a very pleasant way. But there was a lot of different techniques being used yesterday. The different, the photogrammetry, the optisplint. I think 2 types of photogrammetry. So there was a little bit of experimentation going. But I think at the end of the day, when somebody can walk out with a smile, and that's really a bonus. Yes, it was. It was fun to interact with people. A lot of people that obviously we did not know before. It was fun to work, one-on-one with some of the instructors that helped with the class. And it was fun, just the whole environment here. It's just, it's a well-run organization. You tell Dr. Dunlap really cares about his employees and cares about his guests here, takes good care of us. So yeah, it was a really good time. Just in general, I just like to thank everybody for again opening up their heads and brains to us and offering everything that they did, and to Dr. Dunlap for letting us but view the surgery. That's, like I said, that was just an added bonus, and it just helps to go for the total understanding of the whole process. Any knowledge that we can gather on the clinical side helps us do our job better. So just a big thank you to everybody.